Hey, y'all. Y'all, come on in. All right, y'all. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm gonna come on for a hot minute. In and out today, y'all. Hold on. Let me check on something. Hold on. All right. Let me turn that off for a moment, y'all. How y'all doing? Hopefully my phone doesn't ring today. So I wanted to come back on. I told y'all that I was going to come back on once a week, Sunday. Timing, I still haven't got that under control yet because I don't know. Actually, it depends on my schedule. So I'm trying to be brief today. Because I do have an appointment that I gotta run to again. Yay. So, last week we talked about the foundation of life insurance, and I went over what was term insurance. I went over what was traditional whole life, and also went over the different universal life and which one is, valuable to you, on which one you wanted to do. But the one I told you that I love doing is the index universal life. So we know the foundation of life insurance. Now, I want y'all to understand something. When you have your policies, make sure you have your own policy that you own, your own life insurance policy. So if you have a policy on your job, it's not your policy. You don't own it. It's group insurance. That's not life insurance. That's not what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about your own personal life insurance. You leave your job, leave whatever, these personal life insurance stays with you. So that's what I'm talking about. So if you have a life insurance policy, you might want to go ahead and grab that policy and pull it out to check your ABRs and see if you have any ABRs on that policy. When I say ABRs, I'm talking about the accelerated benefit riders. So life insurance is about life, okay? Not about death, it's about life. So heaven forbid if your body starts breaking down, your living benefits will start tapping in. So there are some companies out here that will say that they have living benefits, and their living benefits only consist of terminal illness and a cancer policy. And that's their, living benefits, which is boo-boo. That's like 10% of what an actual living benefits is. So anytime that you're coming to me, I'm going to take you to the A-class company unless something's going on with your body and we start breaking down, then we'll start looking at different companies. Other than that, I'm going to take you to the best of the best. And so the best of the best comes with living benefits as well as death benefits. So this week, what we're going to be talking about is the living benefits that comes with your policy and how life insurance is so powerful, when it comes to us and our body, this machine breaking down. So anytime that you get a policy, make sure it comes with these living benefits. Terminal illness is one. A lot of them comes with terminal illness. Chronic illness, critical illness, critical injury, and guess what? Alzheimer's is up in there. So if you were to develop Alzheimer's disease, all of this. So make sure that your policy is tied to these ABRs, which is your accelerated benefit riders. Make sure these are attached to this policy because this is the living part if your body was to break down. So I'm going to go over each part real fast. So I'm trying not to take y'all time because I got somewhere to go. Shouts out to Andrew Landry. He wrote his book about narcissists. His book releases today. I'll be there. I'll be one of his vendors. So if you know Andrew, y'all come to his book release party. So anyways, let's get back into our case study. This is our case study today is going to be, y'all like my shirt? I'm sorry. Master Wealth, MW, Master Wealth Financial Group, that's me. But I didn't say that. Okay, anyways, back on the case study. So this case study is going to be on a 20-year-old male and female. I didn't know what ages we wanted to look at, but I'm going to start with a 20-year-old. And this 20-year-old male or female is in great shape. Nothing's wrong. Body's good. Haven't been breaking down. No pre-existing. Nothing. So this one qualifies and got life insurance. And they're paying $200 a month. This 20-year-old, you know, they got enough money. They mess off money, but $200, he wants to go ahead and invest in his life insurance policy. I'm going to tell y'all what this $200 is going to do. So this $200 every month that he's paying is going to get this man or female. I'm going to break it down so y'all listen to me. For the male, that $200 a month is going to give him coverage of $219,966 of coverage for that 20-year-old male for $200. Now for the female, same $200, she's going to be covered with $245,515 of protection. So what does that mean, Mia? Heaven forbid if something happened to the 20-year-old male or the 20-year-old female and if they start breaking down, something happened, well, their living benefits taps in if something starts happening. You know, if they're starting to be a pre-existing or anything, that's when your living benefit starts tapping in. So I did an example on the 20-year-old female and the 20-year-old male at the age of 65. They didn't have this policy. They have kept it up for $200. They didn't increase it or decrease it. They're just keeping it steady at $200. So I'm going to break that down. But before I break that down of what will happen, let's break down these living benefits. Now, for terminal illness, anytime that your policy says terminal illness, that means if you have a qualified from your physician, if it's been qualified that you're going to pass away, death in 24 months or less, now your living benefits, you tapped into your living benefits through your terminal illness. So that's one aspect. The second aspect is on your chronic illness. Now, if you were to develop chronic illness and you can't do 2 out of 6 of your daily routine, so that's when your chronic illness taps in, and what that consists of, if you can't do the bathing, the continence, or the dressing, or the eating, or the toileting, or the transferring, if you can't do 2 out of these 6 activities, then your living benefits for the chronic illness taps in. All right? So y'all got me on there. We got terminal illness. We got chronic illness. Let's go to critical illness. Now, remember them policies that I've been telling you about cancers and terminal illness? Oh, we got living benefits. We got cancer, and we got terminal illness. That's not it. They're leaving so much off the table. That's only 10%. What about the other 90? Okay, so for the critical illness is your aorta graft surgery, any kind of blindness. There's your cancer, okay? But there is your I can't even talk about it. I can't even say it. Fibrosis. I can't even say it. There you go. Fibrosis. You got heart attack. You got your heart valve replacement. You got your major organ transplant. Any kind of motor neuron disease. You got your strokes and sudden cardiac arrest. So if any of those take place while this 20-year-old male and this 20-year-old female is growing up in years, if any of these take place, that's when their living benefits taps in. So when you're talking about just a cancer policy, well, you left everything else off. So now let's get into your critical injury. Well, you might, get into an accident or something and have, heaven forbid, you're in a coma or paralysis or severe burns or any kind of traumatic brain injury. So now the other living benefit, which is your critical injury tax, now you're tapping into that. And last but not least, they also included Alzheimer's. So any one of the eligible forms of dementia, then that qualifies you for that living benefit. So what does that mean, Mia? That's so much. Okay, let me break this down. This is 20-year-old male, 20-year-old female. They've been going through life. Their age now, 65. They still have their coverage, but let's see what happens. Age 65, this 20-year-old male and female actually got into maybe, something where they're about to pass away. Now they got 24 months or less to live. Well, they call me up and let me know, hey, Mia, this is what's going on. I get the documentation showing that. Guess what? I'm coming to them with? I'm coming to them with a check. Okay, you know how much money of a check I'm coming to them? Well, for the male, I'm bringing him a $571,285 check. Okay, to enjoy life, do what you need to do before you do pass away. And for the female, I'm bringing her a $620,043 check for her to do whatever she needs to do with her family, prepare her family or whatnot. Okay, the remainder will be for, burial purposes. So that's what the terminal illness rider does for you. So chronic illness, remember you can't do 2 out of the 6 daily activities. So we can hurt ourselves and fall down and go into the hospital. Now we can't even feed ourselves. We laid up. We can't even pee. So we're, well, hey, guess what? I ain't going to give you a card to tell you to get well. Guess what? Me as your agent, I'm going to bring you some money. Okay, honey? Let me tell you. So for a 20-year-old male, 20-year-old female, at the age of 65, they done got sick. They can't do their 2 of the daily routine. So now they qualify for the chronic illness. So for that male, I'm bringing him, he's actually going to get a check for $11,519 a month for this one. Yeah. You know that, huh? That's sweet. I'll take $11,519 a month. Yeah, anytime, of course. And for the female, it's $12,502 a month. Mia, how come the females get more than the male? Good question. I'm happy you asked me that. Because, guys, do you know you guys are a high risk? Y'all out there, even though we're out there doing the same thing y'all doing, but y'all still qualified as a high risk. So by y'all being out there doing the high risk jobs and all that, y'all risky. So, gotta think about that. We'll have to give you a little bit less. Us females, we ain't so high risk, so we get more. So anyways, let's go to the critical illness. So if there was a critical illness, I'm gonna do the critical illness and the critical injury together because they're gonna be the same amount. So if you were to be diagnosed with a critical illness or a critical injury and you gave me the proper documents, guess what? As a male, I'm coming with either, for both of them, a check of $573,771. Yeah. And for the female, I'm bringing her $222,785. Here you go. Your body broke down. We want to make sure you're good. Hello. Remember that machine? Y'all told me last week that machine that's pumping $100 every hour on an hour, you'll put insurance on that machine, because once that machine starts breaking down, you need that machine to continue to start, make that money. Well, hello, you're the machine. Body will start breaking down. Anything can happen. Accidents can happen. Death can happen. anything, it don't matter if we're young, if we're old, if we're a baby, if we're a teenager, we don't know when our calling is, to pass away or to get hurt out. Look, but once the body breaks down, we got protection. So let's talk about the Alzheimer's disease. If you start developing that, you would get credentials from your doctors stating that you're eligible for it. Well, now, gosh darn it, you might not remember, but I'm gonna bring you a freaking check. Heck yeah! For the guy, I'm gonna bring you $575,000 and 316 cents. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And for the female, she's gonna get $624,614. So that is what living benefits are for. So if somebody is offering you just a cancer and terminal illness, they have left everything else off the table. So only 10% of your body is protected. Oh, your death is protected, but 10% of your body is protected. Over here, your life and your death is protected. So now, let's check this out. So you have the $200 that they're paying every month, and that's giving them coverage. And why, Mia, why is it so much? Well, that cash value is building up. How can it be like 500? How can they get all of that if their coverage was 200,000? Well, over the years, they ain't touched nothing. They ain't pulled no money out, so everything is growing tax-free. So by their money, their cash value growing so high, their coverage has no other thing to do but to grow, because that coverage got to be more than the cash value. So their policy has grown throughout these years. So this is one thing. So we'll talk about the growth. So life insurance protects your life. So heaven forbid, if life was to happen, you can pull up to 90% of your amount out while you're living. And if death was to happen, your beneficiaries is taken care of. But now that's on one aspect. The other aspect is the cash value. Next week, we're going to talk about the tax codes of this cash value being, how it's growing, and how the rich continues to get rich because they stay under the tax codes and follow the tax codes. So we're going to talk about these tax codes. But in the process, this $200 that this male and female is putting in every month for a year, that's $2,400. Can y'all agree with me? $200 every month. So 200 times 12 is what? $2,400. Okay, so that $2,400 that they put into their life insurance policy made them some money. That $24,000 on the male on the first year made him $1,462,000 in cash value. For the female, it made her $1,681 in cash value on the first year. So break that down, Mia. So if you have $2,400 that you're putting into your bank did not make you $1,400 or $1,600 by putting your money into the bank. Oh no, it didn't make you that, but it made that bank some money. Yeah, it sure did. Not you, but the bank. Let me tell you why. Because y'all, when we get our money and we put our money in our like banks and credit union, and we deposit it, the moment that we deposit our money into the banks and credit union, well, now it's in a lending position. So now by it being in a lending position, the bank, the credit union, takes our money that we deposit and say, oh, thank you, I appreciate you. I'm going to take this money and put it into the insurance company myself. And they make money off of us, and they put it into their reserves, and then they pay us pennies on the dollars. Thank you, I appreciate it. Versus you make your money into your insurance company. So in the bank, when you're putting that $2,400 in that bank, guess how much your money was a year later? Probably the same, $2,400. Because that bank, the moment you put it into the bank, you're only getting 0.01% of that. Versus putting your money into the insurance company and getting 6.81%. I mean, hello? Do you not see the difference? 0.01% versus 6.81%. Do you not see where? Okay, so that's how on the first year, by me putting $2,400 in my insurance, that my cash value is at $1,468 as a male, and as a female it's $1,681. Oh, okay. In 5 years, as a male, my cash value is now at $8,288. As a female, 5 years is at $9,579. Okay. What if I just, continue to let that money just, continue to raise and continue to grow? Okay, 11 years from now, I'm fully invested in the insurance company. Now, if I wanted to pull little crumbs out, I can pull the crumbs out. By 11 years in this insurance company, if I wanted to pull this whole money out, I can pull this whole money out. So 11 years as a male, you got $23,000 in cash value, $23,345 in cash value tax-free. For the female, you got $26,490 tax-free. This is money that Uncle Sam cannot touch, y'all. Y'all don't understand the power of tax-free money. All right? He can't touch this. If you need to borrow some money, borrow from your doggone selves. You're not going to get penalized. You're not going to get taxed. Just borrow from yourself. So if you start understanding the power of how money works, money can work for you or money can work against you. So I'm trying to educate you guys to see how money works for you and how you're protecting yourself and how you add in value to yourself. So once our body starts breaking down, we are protected. And heaven forbid, when it is time for us to go, because we're all going to go, period, our family is protected. And that money continues to grow generation after generation. So now you're changing your family's generational wealth. You're taking yourselves from leaving burdens behind for leaving generational wealth behind. So next week, we are going to talk about the tax codes. Three powerful tax codes that has been grandfathered in for centuries, and how the wealth continues to get wealthy by staying under the tax codes, and why we can do the same thing. Okay, so we got it. We good. We understand. Check your policies. Make sure it has living benefits as well as death benefit. If it doesn't have living benefits, we have a problem. You're not protected. Make sure your living benefit comes with all of that. If you don't have life insurance, call me, DM me, reach out to me, jump up, let me know you're there. Let me help you. If you have an agent that is your agent but has not been checking and doing your annual review every year, hello, let me do your annual review. I'll find the gaps. Because like I said, there's a lot of agents out here that are captive. They're only going to sell you and push you one product when you might you don't even need that one. But they're going to force it on you. And they're only going to give you a cancer policy, a terminal illness, but they're leaving 90% of your life off. So call me. I'll be your agent. So that's what we have right now. I appreciate y'all time. I have actually got to go. If you don't know who I am, my name is Mia White with Master Wealth Financial Group. Mastering wealth at one family at a time is what I do. I appreciate y'all again. Next week, we'll talk about those tax codes, baby. Talk about them tax. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for your time. I just want to make sure we all are educating ourselves with knowledge and wisdom, passing on love, legacies, preparation, all that equals life insurance. Anyways, love you guys. Talk to y'all soon.